Facebook Live. Oh, there it is.
Are we? We did it. We're here. We're made live. It. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well. I'm a little sad because this is our last Binge Live for 2020.
I know.
But like I said, we still have all of 2021 together.
I know.
And Meredith will be back in 2021. She promised.
Okay, Meredith, if you're watching, we're holding you to it. No offense, Christina.
Oh, I'm not offended at all. Meredith, I'd love you to take the job back. I like watching it more than I like being a host.
Well, this has been fun, and I appreciate you greatly for filling in for her. This has been awesome.
It gives me an excuse to break out all my holiday wear. This was a holiday 2018 shirt that I wore to our holiday mixer. So I thought I'd break it out so that I'm wearing sweatpants on the bottom, just to be very clear.
So now, you're saying that that's from 2018, but last night we had the holiday mixer which was awesome and so much fun. And yes, I won.
He always wins. Always.
I know, right? Which is weird because I never win things, but whatever. And so it's kind of funny because one of the trivia contests was we had to guess the virtual backgrounds from movies, and they were all miraculously from 1996.
Okay, well, perhaps there was a typo in my script where I copied and pasted and just didn't change the year.
I mean, I had no idea that It's a Wonderful Life was filmed in 1996. I was very surprised by that.
Well, don't worry. The entire audience of 120 people called me out on that. So it was corrected. And I believe It's a Wonderful Life was, I don't have my script. It was either 1947.
So is your top from 1947, 96, or 18? Which one is it?
This is 2018, baby.
Sure
2018.
Sure it is. Sure it is.
Well, it was a great event last night. We got to partner with the Culver City and the Torrance Chamber of Commerce. We had 120 people that registered for the event, and we played some really fun games. We gave over $1,000 worth of prizes out last night just for people showing up. And really the intention of it was to end the year really strong on a really positive note. I know it's hard when you read the news to be excited right now because there's definitely a lot going on. So our job was to spread holiday cheer, and I think we did it.
You did. And as I said, as we've all said to you numerous times, you and the chamber have done an incredible job throughout this entire year of just keeping a community together and really making us all feel like we're part of something, and just being able to see people. I mean, I was talking to people in one of my groups last night, and we were just talking about how hard it has been for this year. And we can't imagine what it would be like if this had happened 20 years ago without this technology.
Can you imagine? It would be terrible.
So imagining what the people are dealing with now as far as the emotional burdens and the stress and the pressure, but to not even have this avenue, I can't imagine what people would be going through.
I can't either.
So kudos.
There's the silver lining, I suppose. I will say that it's not possible without our partners, and partners like you, Joel, and our special guest today, Dr. Kevin Shane, who is a wonderful partner. It's not possible with all of us pulling together our resources and being able to offer programming that is really valuable, meaningful, and relevant to our business community. So should we bring them up?
Well, now that you've already mentioned him, we have to. I'm so excited for this one. Kevin is awesome. Anybody who doesn't know Dr. Kevin Shane, it's so weird to call him doctor because he's just Kevin, but here he is. So this is awesome.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
Good morning.
So Kevin Shane is actually the name that everybody called me growing up because my dad's name is also Kevin. So I'm Kevin Shane. So the middle name differentiates us. So I decided to, since my friends and family back home all still call me that, I figured I'd just start making everybody call me that. So
I think it's the doctor part. That's where because I'm just used to, you're Kevin.
It's not the Kevin Shane part. It's the doctor part.
Yeah, it's the title. It's like, that's just weird.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin and I are old friends. We've known each other since our early 20s when we were footloose and fancy free. And Kevin has been working with me for 14 years now on our Leadership Academy program. And this year we were able to bring Leadership Academy 2.0 virtual, and it was really phenomenal. So Kevin, do you want to share a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure. So my background, I'm an organizational psychology guy, and I work with organizations as a consultant, a trainer, and an executive coach, and really passionate about the work. I just love the work, and I think that we all have purposes here on this earth, and my job is to help people live on purpose. And I get to do that every day. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for
We
being
love
here.
having you.
Like, we appreciate it. Yeah.
So during our last, well, and we should say there may be a hiccup that we have because Joel's waiting for a delivery. And the minute that call comes, he may disappear and then reappear magically onto our live stream. So life is happening. Life continues to happen.
That's how you know it's live. Like,
That's how you know it is legitimately live. I wanted to just talk, Kevin. One of the things that you said during our last Leadership Academy, and we did it for 5 sessions in November. We had about 23 fellows, participants in the program, a great group of individuals really dedicated to wanting to grow in their leadership skills. But one of the things that you talked about, and I don't remember what you call it, edutainment. What did you call it when you're the way you teach?
Yeah, so I was raised by Disney. So when I was 19 years old, I took my first job at Disney over the summer on the college program. And I was a lifeguard at Typhoon Lagoon in Orlando. And so during college, I went back the next summer. And then I even graduated early so I could get down there and leave Syracuse in the middle of the winter so I could go straight down to Florida and work for Disney. And I did, and I became a trainer there. And at Disney University, I would teach their orientation, which is called Traditions. And the whole thing was edutainment. So we educate people and keep them entertained the entire time. So even though I have, gone ahead and wanted to make sure I had theoretical underpinnings and got my doctorate, I still like to bring the entertainment because life is short. We've got to have fun, right?
okay, what is Disney University?
It's like their internal training arm.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was like, do you get a degree in Pluto or something like that? Like,
No, literally, you can get a master's or a doctorate.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, yeah.
That makes the best. Okay, I'm done. I'm good. Like, we're good. That's all I needed right now.
And there's our show for today.
Yeah. So how long were you with Disney, and what do you think was like the biggest thing that you took from it?
I loved every minute that I worked at Disney because they give you an opportunity to use whatever strengths you have. And they would just say, oh, you want to do this? Okay. I got to create characters and perform them in the parks, which was an amazing experience. I can tell Joel's going to ask about this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So there's this thing called Streetmosphere. And so you have on Main Street USA characters that are like the mayor, and you have the Dapper Dans, which is like the acoustic singing group. You have the town gossip. And so I became the world traveler. And so I had an apartment on Main Street, and I had knickers and a straw hat and a carpet
Oh
bag.
boy.
So I
need to see pictures, just so you know.
I have videos actually.
That's even better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a blast, and I got to run around. I became known as the village idiot because I was a world traveler who would travel the world but have never in all actuality left Main Street USA. So I'd like get on the train and try to rob the train, and some kid would be like, you need a gun to rob a train. And I'd be like, oh, sorry, never mind, and jump off and run away. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Well, I think that you can see just from talking to Kevin, I mean, the passion and the enthusiasm that he brings to his work is really infectious. And I think, there's a reason that Kevin and I have worked together for the last 14 years, because when we launched the program, we originally had 25 students in our first class, and our board was really concerned that we wouldn't continue to be able to bring students in, that we'd have 25 and it would end. And 14 years later, we've had over 200 students in the program. And, Leadership Academy 2.0 was supposed to be the reunion and bringing people back. And we sold the class out within, 4 or 5 days. I think I called you, Kevin, said, okay, I think I have 1 spot left. So.
And the reason is because Christina is an amazing leader of the chamber, and her team is amazing, and people want to be a part of it.
Joel, don't look like you don't believe that.
No. Actually, I was going to disagree with that, only because as somebody who's done Leadership Academy 1 and 2, it's a combination of the two of you. It genuinely is. I mean, Christina is like the best cult leader in the world because I'm just saying, she's roped everybody into creating this atmosphere. But Kevin, what you created with Leadership Academy, both of the ones that I did, I don't even know how to explain it. It really is something where you don't realize it until it's over what you went through, which is probably one of the best things in the world for me. I mean, as a personal standpoint, because you're able to look back and be like, oh crap, I really just learned something about myself, but you don't feel like you're learning, if that makes sense.
Well, I also think it takes a super kind of person like yourself to sign up for something that is going to push yourself developmentally. Because a lot of people don't want to look at themselves, and you like to look at yourself. I mean, look at you. Why wouldn't you? Right?
You are a good looking man, Joel. I'm just gonna.
You know what I love is that we can all just sit here and like say great things about each other for like the entire duration of the show.
You know what? Why not? This is the gift that keeps on giving.
This is what holidays are all about.
That's right.
Although if we did it a little later in the day, we all could have drinks in our hand.
Oh, I missed that.
You don't know what's in my cup?
Yes, we do.
It's coffee. Well, I want to talk about that because, one of the things that I think, and Kevin and I deciding to do Leadership Academy 2.0, we just both felt that leadership right now is really being tested in this pandemic. And, as someone that's trying to motivate their team, as someone that's just struggling with balance in their own life, Kevin, do you want to talk about some of the things you're seeing in your industry and why leadership training is so important?
I will. I may get a little teary-eyed with this. People are struggling, and teams are struggling. We don't have those casual interactions that build trust. And you don't realize how those casual interactions near the water cooler or just seeing each other in the hall builds trust. But it really does. Now, if I want to set up something with my teammate, it's a formal, structured thing. I have to send an invite, and then we have to decide: are we doing this at this time? And there's usually an agenda that we have, and it's never just meant to get to know each other better and build trust. And it's a huge struggle. And I think organizations are feeling it so much so that, even this morning, I was talking to the CEO of a company, and they're dealing with a very intense, difficult situation. And I asked her, I said, why are you calling me for this? I'm just curious, why do you think I'd be right for this versus somebody else? And she said, because we know how much you care at the bottom of your soul. From the bottom of your soul, you care about this, and that's what we need right now. And to hear that from a CEO, like of a multi-billion-dollar company, we want people to start caring about each other. That really warmed my heart, where I'm like, wow, I think organizations are starting to get it, that we're in a very emotional place. We can't just all be about business and results all the time. One of the greatest benefits, I think, of this is it's a humanizing effect that it's having for us, because we're all in each other's homes, which has never happened. You're in your boss's home like a couple times a week. You see a 2-year-old crawling up on top of the lap of the VP of La-di-da, these big, titles. And it's like, I'm sorry, my kid's here, or sorry, I got Instacart coming, or my dog's jumping on my lap, or I didn't even know you had a cat and it's crawling across your screen. It's a big humanizing effect. And, I'm a silver lining kind of guy. That's what I think is going to be the best outcome of this, if we can hold on to that humanity.
Yeah, I was actually reading something the other day that was talking about one of the biggest lessons to take from this past year, no matter really what your profession is that people don't want to feel like they're just a number. Over this past year, the lessons that you took from, like, no matter what your job is, you called people to just not to do a sales pitch or any business brand. You actually called because you wanted to know how they are, and people appreciated that. And I'm hoping we don't go back to who we were before. I genuinely hope that we take something from this, which is that we do matter to people, and the human interaction, it's bigger than I think we realized it is, or how it's more important than we knew it was. And I think that's huge.
We were losing connection prior to this. We were losing connection, human to human connection. And I think this is something that makes us realize how important it is. And it's really the undertone of life. if you don't have your relationships, then what is life all about?
Yeah.
It is relationships. That's all it is.
It's true.
Yeah.
So true.
Okay, that got heavy.
I know.
That got deep.
It's,
So,
it's
what do
deep.
you?
It's deep stuff.
It really is. What do you think is going to happen in 2021? How do you see? What do you see going forward?
Okay. So this is just my thoughts on it, but I think it's going to be very difficult to transition back. I think that's going to be a hard thing for organizations to do, because what we think about is, oh, once we get back, then it'll all be like it was before, which is not true. There's going to be a new thing that transpires, and we have built new neural pathways. So neuroplasticity, we are always developing new neural pathways in our brain, and we have developed new neural pathways around how we operate. And it's going to be a difficult transition, but I think organizations that are realizing it's going to be a difficult transition and putting the plans into place early. I'm working with a number of organizations that have engaged in coaching engagements. So they're actually preparing for a transition back by getting executive coaches. So I have a whole team of executive coaches that world is blowing up right now. It really is. There's a huge need for it. And I would encourage anyone who is looking to be an executive coach and you have some street credit and you've been around for a while, I would say pursue that, because there's going to be no lack of need for that going forward. And there's a lot that rides on it.
I think Joel's Instacart has arrived. Is that true, Joel?
So are we going to do the thing where we unpack it live, where we find out?
Why not? I'm always interested in those. Like, what did he get? Well, Kevin, I just want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank you for continuing to pass on the leadership. And that's one of the things in the class that we always say is that, you've learned some amazing tools in this program. Please continue to pass it on. And some of the things that we talked about in our last program was feedback and the importance of feedback. You talked about a VUCA. You don't want to talk about VUCA. Yeah, I mean, there's just all these things that I just are such amazing tools for leaders that you use. We talked about emotional intelligence. So, oh, he's back. We wanted you to open it in front of us so we could see what you got.
It wasn't that one. It was somebody else. And I'm like,
oh.
I know. I'm so sorry.
So Kevin, what do you think, if you could tell the guests watching today, what's one tool? I froze.
Uh-oh.
We can still hear you.
A hammer.
So what's one tool
that you use all the time around the house?
A garden hoe. A hammer. No, I think one tool that what, Christina?
I'm sorry, my computer froze. My internet connection is unstable. We're really ending 2020 with a bang.
This is like the perfect episode right here. It's like you've got internet issues. Kevin's talking about Disney and his characters.
He said knickers. He was wearing knickers. I just want to point that out.
And I'm trying to wait for my Instacart delivery. I think that this is by far the most random episode we've ever had, and I'm loving it, especially before the holidays.
You have the most random guest ever, so it's appropriate.
You have no idea how excited we were for this one, though. Like, we genuinely were. Like, you just make everybody smile.
I told Dr. Kevin Shane that. I told him that. We were super excited because what you do is so important. And I know Joel and I have both learned so much from you. And we realize the value in what you teach and how you teach it. And so we wanted to pass the gift of Dr. Kevin Shane on to all of our guests.
He's so uncomfortable with that.
He's so uncomfortable. I know, but I love it.
But I do have a tool that would be really helpful that I do at the end of every year. And I think it's even more important this year, to literally sit down by yourself. So you can do it by yourself and then pair up and do it with others as well. But do it yourself first, where you literally sit down and go through your calendar and your email, whatever you need to do to recall. And you write down every accomplishment that you've had this year. Every single achievement. We're talking about even if you learned a new technology, even if you decided to try something different, if you met goals, if you, in all aspects of your life, write down one for personal life, one for your family, one for your business. So all the different areas, write them all down and write every single achievement. Have somebody else do that, a trusted friend, spouse, anybody, Chester, if you wanted to, and get together and talk to them about, like, this is my list of achievements. This is your list of achievements, and really celebrate those achievements.
I love that.
Exhaust the list, and then figure out what are we going to do, and what are we going to set our goals for 2021? What is that going to look like for us?
Yeah,
You know,
I
gotta
love
say,
that.
I was just gonna say, I love that because I think everybody focuses on going forward, and more. And to stop and just take stock of your life is so important to do. And I think that's a great tip.
Celebrate it. If you like, Christina, if you and Corey wanted to like literally do that and then sit down, go through the list and do it over the best bottle of wine or something like that, like you celebrate it. Because, and especially this year, we have to celebrate everything we accomplished this year, because a leader during adversity is the story of that leader. So this year will define leaders. Doesn't matter if you were a great leader before, who cares? What matters is the leader you were in 2020. So list everything out and then celebrate it.
I love it. Okay, Corey, I have a bottle of Dom. I should break that out.
Yeah. Corey's
Nice.
I've been staring at it for a year. I've been really wanting to break into it. Okay, now I have a reason. Are we ready to move into our lightning round?
Oh, geez.
Take a sip of coffee.
That's not coffee either.
Okay, I promise this won't hurt. So, Kevin, you have 3 seconds to answer the following questions. Are you prepared?
Okay. This is hard for me, but okay, yeah. You know I'm a processor.
All right, ready? Dog or cat?
Dog. I just put in for a
I
dog.
knew that one. Oh, well, I
I'm
can't
a-
wait to meet
Cats too.
him or her. Favorite cocktail?
Wine. Is that a cocktail
I guess so.
or a mojito? Maybe.
A mojito.
Mojito.
I like saying that, mojito. Okay, favorite type of music?
Oh, I love Irish music. I just, you know that.
I know that Kevin is actually an amazing singer, and he has a band that plays every St. Patrick's Day. I highly recommend you go see that. Okay, Irish music was the answer. Your favorite word for 2020?
Hope.
Nice. Mountains and snow or beach and sunny?
Both.
All right, favorite holiday?
St. Patrick's Day.
I see a theme here. Okay, sweet potatoes or mashed potatoes?
Mashed potatoes, but Colcannon mashed potatoes.
Don't know what that is, but okay. And then what is your one wish for 2021?
My wish for 2021 is that everyone finishes this year strong. So the 2020 thing, my wish is that everybody can look back upon 2020 being proud of who they were during this time. Because 10 years from now, when everybody's telling the story, oh, remember 2020? What were you doing? I want everybody to look back and go, you know, I really accomplished a lot. And the good thing is we still have time. You still have a couple weeks to pull out some stops and make some stuff happen. I mean, this month I've been trying to get new certifications and all this kind of stuff so I can be like, okay, I did everything that I possibly could to be proud of who I was during this time, as not just a leader, but as a friend, as a family member, as a, you know, all the different aspects of your life. So that's what I hope is everybody can reflect in 21, reflect upon 2020 saying, I'm proud of who I was.
I love it. Thank you so much, Dr. Kevin Shane. We really appreciate you taking the time to spend with us this morning.
Well, thanks for having me.
And I'll put my fake microphone down.